This is a quick video regarding notes to put into your CPT book. So I want you to grab the book that you have on the screen, turn to page 11, it's at the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to go through the Evaluation and Management or E&M section. I want you with a pencil to write down the notes that I give you in this video. Starting on page 11. On page 11, we have the black bold title, Evaluation and Management, Office or Other Outpatient Services. In the right-hand column, in red, it should say New Patient. I want you to write 3 of 3. The number 3, the word of, O-F, and the number 3. I want you to write that right beside that red New Patient. 3 of 3. In the definition there of 99201, I also want you to underline the words requires these 3 key components. I want you to underline these 3 key components. I want you to underline those same words under 99202. These 3 key components. Underline that. At the very bottom, 99203. Underline these 3 key components. We'll always go back. You'll always learn about this stuff in the textbook, but in the code book, we make a lot of notes this semester because we use those notes throughout this semester and next. Turn the page to page 12. 99204. You see that code? Again, I want you to underline these 3 key components, and then with the last 99205, these 3 key components. I want you to underline that. Now we're to the next red heading here. Established patient. Next to established patient, I want you to write the number 2, the word O-F of, and 3. So beside established patient, it should say 2 of 3. The first code underneath there is 99211. I want you to write somewhere here next to that code description, nurse only. If your patient comes in and sees the nurse only and doesn't see a provider and they're on the nurse schedule, this is a code that we can bill out. In the code description, you can see it says that may not require the presence of a physician or other qualified healthcare professional. Usually the presenting problem is minimal. Typically 5 minutes are spent with the patient. Nurse only, I want you to write there. This could be a blood pressure check. This could be a sore throat strep screen swab in the mouth. Maybe you don't have to see the provider for that. You could just be put right on the nurse schedule. Next to 99212, 2 of 3 key components. I want you to underline that. 2 of these 3 key components. Same if you jump down to the next code, 99213. I want you to underline 2 of these 3 key components. Same thing for 99214 over on the next page. Underline 2 of these 3 key components. And next to 99215, underline 2 of these 3 key components again. Now we're at Hospital Observation Services, which is our green heading here on the right-hand column of page 13. The second paragraph underneath there says, if such an area does exist in a hospital, as a separate unit in the hospital, in the emergency department, or etc., these codes are to be utilized if the patient is placed in such an area. I want you right there, I have written in my book, not all have this. Not all facilities will have a hospital observation area. So I wrote, not all have this. Okay. Then you can turn the page. And if you get behind, pause me. On page 14, Observation Care Discharge Services. 99217, underneath there, I have written not the same day, exclamation point. Right under 99217, somewhere there where you have room. Not the same day. And if you read the code description in there, it does say that. It just goes a roundabout way. Initial observation care. I have written underneath there 24 hours. I have that little note written there for myself. And at the top of page 14, in the second column, the right-hand column, I have this circled. You see the word where the sentence starts, for a patient admitted and discharged? I have this whole rest of the paragraph circled. For a patient admitted and discharged from observation or inpatient status on the same date. Remember over there we said not the same date. So if you do admit and discharge on the same date, the services should be reported with these codes, 99234 to 99236 as appropriate. Do not report observation discharge in conjunction with the hospital admission. This is a really good note. I have that circled, what I just read. All of these notes are here to help you. You just got to take the time to read them. Right above the code 99218, I also have something circled. That last statement above code 99218, it says, these codes apply to all evaluation and management services that are provided on the same date of initiating observation status. I have that little statement circled. And then under 99218, in the code description, you need to underline 3 key components. Okay? It says new or established patient in the blue over there to the left. You see that? New or established. It doesn't matter if they're new or established. Okay? Either one is good. But you have to have 3 key components. And I want you to underline that in 99218, 99219, these 3 key components, 99220, these 3 key components. Right above the red title, Subsequent Observation Care, I have something written in here. Do you see how we jump codes? We have code 99220, and all of a sudden we jump to 99224. I have a little note there for myself, and I wrote it right above the red Subsequent Observation Care heading, and I wrote 99221, that's really the next code, is on the next page. Okay, it's out of order. And I wrote that little note to myself if I was looking for that code. Okay, 99221 is on the next page. It's out of order. Under that subsequent observation care, 99224, again, underline 2 of these key components. 99225, again, underline 2 of these key components. 99226, again, underline 2 of these 3 key components. Okay, turn the page. We're on page 16, everybody. Under initial hospital care, new or established patient, again, either one of these is okay. I wrote either, because either one of them is fine. But next to these next 3 codes here, initial hospital care, 99221, these 3 key components. Next to 99222, again, these 3 key components. We need to underline these so they stick out to us. And again, to 99223, these key components. The next note I have is next to subsequent hospital care. I wrote the word rounds. A lot of times we say, well, the doctor's going to make rounds visits, or the doctor's on rounds. When will the doctor do his rounds? Okay, a lot of times we call them rounds, and so I wrote the word rounds in quotes next to subsequent hospital care there, because a lot of times that's what they're called. Anything subsequent is after that initial, okay? After we have the admission to the hospital, which is a big visit, then we have these subsequent visits, which are usually smaller, okay? And these aren't as strict, so again, I want you to underline next to 99231 or in 99231, 2 of these 3 key components. At 99232, the same thing, 2 of the 3 components, and next to 99233, 2 of these 3 key components. Okay? On to page 18. observation or inpatient care services, including admission and discharge services, and I wrote their big same day exclamation point. And I circled the first part of this paragraph. It says, the following codes are used to report observation or inpatient hospital care services provided to patients admitted and discharged on the same date of service. Okay, these are the same day, people. I circled that top of that paragraph that I just read, and I wrote same day exclamation point. So under 99234, 35, and 36, I circled in the title and the definition here, admission and discharge on the same date. I circled that statement. 99235, admission and discharge on the same date. Circle that. 99236, admission and discharge the same date. Circle that. Hospital discharge services. I wrote easy, the word easy next to it with an exclamation point. Because if you look at 99238 and 99239, 30 minutes or less, have that underlined. More than 30 minutes, have that underlined. That's it. We don't have to look at levels. We don't have to look at key components. You don't have to look at any of that. It's just based on time. Okay? Consultations on page 19. I have a little star next to the first statement at the top of the second column. It says, if a consultation is mandated, for example, by a third-party payer or your insurance company, modifier 32 should also be reported. Isn't that a helpful hint? Okay? I would forget that unless I had that starred and helped me. Okay? Underneath office or other outpatient consultations, again, new or established, it doesn't matter. Either one's fine. Okay? It says the following codes are used to report consultations provided in the office or in an outpatient or other ambulatory type facility. So I'm walking in, having a consultation, and I am walking out. Okay? Including including hospital observation services, home service, domiciliary, rest home, emergency department. Okay, these are office or other outpatient type consultations. If you turn to page 20, 99241, 42, 43, 44, and 45 are the codes we have to choose from if we're doing an office or other outpatient consultation. I have the word office circled at the beginning of every one of those codes. I circled office to help me. And I underlined 3 key components on all of those codes. So I circled the first word, which is office, and I underlined 3 key components because I've got to meet all 3 of these, okay, to get those codes. Then we go to inpatient consultations. We were just doing office or other outpatient. Now we're doing inpatient on page 21. I circled the whole first big longer paragraph here. Again, new or established patient there in blue. Either one is fine. For 99251, 52, 53, 54, and 55, you got to turn the page. I circled that first word, inpatient, on all of them. And I underlined 3 key components on all of them. So do that for all of those codes up to emergency department services on page 22. Underneath emergency room codes, new or established patient is red. Again, either, doesn't matter when you're in the ER. Okay, if you code for ER, you're going to code these services out and use these codes a lot. If you don't do any emergency room coding, you may never use these codes. Okay, depends on your job description. Code 99281, 282, 283, 284, and 285. I need you again to underline 3 key components on every single one of those codes. And then I want you to turn to page 24. There's a lot of writing and notes and helpful hints for you starting at the bottom of page 23. Now this is critical care services, so this is touchy. There's a lot of help here for us. Page 24 is all just notes to help the coders figure out how to do this correctly. On page 24, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but on the right-hand column on page 24, halfway down, there's a paragraph that starts, time spent with the individual patient should be